Hello everyone, my name is Jonas. This is my podcast. Today I will read book Think and Grow Rich chapter 11, The Mystery of the Sex Transmutation. The meaning of the transmutation is the simple language, the changing of transferring of one element from the energy into another. The emotion of sex brings into being a state of mind. Because of ignorance on subjective, his state of mind generally associated with the physical and the people have been subject in acquiring knowledge of sex things se- essential physical having really height beside the mind. The motion of sex has back of the possibility of three consecutive potentials. They are number one, the perpetuation of mankind. Number two, the maintenance of health. Number three, the transmutation of mediocre intragenous through transmutation. The sex transmutation is the simple and the easily explained. It means visions of the mind from frauds and the physical expression to frauds of some outer nature. The sex desire is the most powerful human desire. When drive by this desire, man develop keenness of imagination, courage, willpower, persistence, and creative ability you know to when at other times. So strong and impelling is the desire for sexual contact, the man freely run the risk of the life and the reputation and the in-laws, the when wordness and the reject along the other lines. The motivation forces maintains the attributes of canons of imagination, courage, etc. When you maybe use the powerful creative forces and the literary art and any other's professional calling introduce of course the accumulation of riches. The transmutation of sex energy calls of the exertion of willpower to be sure, but the reward is run the effort. The desire for sexual response inborn and natural. The desire cannot and should not be submerged or eliminated, but it should give an outlet through forms of expression which ancient the body, the mind, and the spirit of man. If not given is from outlet through transmutation, which will seek outlet through purely physical channels. A river may undammed and the water controlled for time, but eventually it is will force an outlet. The same is true in the motion of sex. It may be submerged of the control for time, but is the very natural causes. It is the be seeking man's expressions. It is not transmutation into some activity that fraud will find the last word outlet. Fortunate identity is the person who was discovered who given sex emotion outlet from creative effort. From he has be that discovery lifting himself to the status genius. The science search was disclosed these significant facts. The men of great task achievement are the men with height developed sex naturally. Men who have and the learned that are sex transmutations. The men who have accumulated the great fortunes and achievements, understanding, recognition, literary, art, and the industry, architecture, and the professional are motivation by influence of women. The search from which there's autos the discovery were made went back through the space of biography and the history for more than 2,000 years. Whatever where was device in available connection with the lives of man and woman, great achievement in the indicating the full convincingly that way possess height developing sex naturally. The emotion of sex it is an responsible first against there's there can be such positions and moving baby body. When driving these emotions when become gifted with the superpower for action. Understand the trust and you will cast and the signification statement under the sex transmutation you will live the status of genius. The emotion of sex constraints and select creative ability to destroy sex against and whatever and the man and the best and you remove the major source reaction animal after describes and becomes souls and after being altered the sexuality and the sex alternation takes in the all and the male and the whether man and the beast the all fight that was him the sex alteration of the femme the female was with some effect femme the 10 mind simulates. The main mind responsibly stimuli and the flow which it may waken up to high distance vibration you know the ways enthusiasm creativity imagination intense desire it's it the stimuli into which the mind response of the most freely are. Number one, the side of sex expression. Number two, love. Three, the burning desire for fun, power, financial gain, money. Four, music. Five, the friendship between ways and the chose the same sex honor roles the opposite sex. Number six, amending alliance, the baptismal harmony of two more peoples, one himself for spiritual or temporal advancement. Seven, mutual suffering and the soak, such as the experienced people who are percussed. 8. Autosuggestion. 9. Fear. 10. Narcotics and alcohol. The desire of sex repression come that in head of the listen stimuli which the most often they step up the vibration of the mind start the wheels of physical action. 18 of 10 stimulates natural consecutive to and destructive the least in one presence in the proposal of Abling you making comparative student of the major scores the mean simulation from the study will be reality seeing the emotion of sex and be great idols odds the most intense and the powerful and the all mind stimuli. This comparison is necessary fundamental for the proof of the statement and transmutation of sex energy may lift one the status of genius. Let's use and find that constrict a genius. Some wide square the west side that genius is a man who wears a long hair, eats, conquer food, lives alone, and serves a detergent a joke makes. A better definition of genius is a man who discovers who increases the vibrations of through the point there and care freely communication with sources of knowledge not available from the ordinary rate of vibration of thought. The person who thinks will want to ask someone questions concurrence this definition of genius. The first question will be how many communicating with source of knowledge and wishing are valuable through the ordinary rate vibration on through. The next questions will be where there source of knowledge we will available only to Winley and with that are their source and exactly how man and be wretched. We shall, the author profit soundness and of some of the more important statements made in her books. Your instead we shall, the author of evidence through which you may sacrifice or profit through experimentation, and you doing so and shall answer both there's questions. Genius is development from the sixth sense. The rally of the sixth sense we us fairly well established. It is the sixth sense creative imagination. This factually the creative imagination on which the majority people never during in entire lifetime then use if our usually happiness be more active achievement. A relative small number of people use with the deliberation and the proposal after fraud. The faculty, the faculty, factive, the faculty to creative imagination throws who use the factive voluntary and with understand of the function they are genuine. The functionality of creative imagination is the direct link between the infinite mind of the man and infinite intelligence. Also called revelations referent to recount religion and the outcurving of basic new principles and the found imagination take place in the flow faculty of creative imagination. When ideas or conception flash into one mind flow that popularly called the road they you come the following source. Number one, infinite intelligence. Number two, one subconscious minds when are in the stroll that every sense and impression, the flow impulse in whichever wretched the brain flow and for the five sentence. Number three, from the mind some other person who was just realizing the flow or picture of idea conception flow continuous through your. Number 5. From his the subconscious storehouse. Those are the one you know source from which inspired ideas or hunches that may be received. The creative imagination function beside them mind vibrations at the excellent high rate that when the mind functionally rate vibration higher than the ordinary normal flow. When the brain action was being stimulating the flow one, the more the mind stimulation it is the effect of lifting individual far above the horizon or ordinary flow and the permits intervision distance scope and the quality of roads not available the lower plan such occupancy while not engaged the solution of the problems in business and the professional routine. When lifted is higher level of flow, the flow and from mind stimulation individual occupied relative in some position was whole as ascending the player of wealth from which the may over when bailed horizon with limitations is vision. While it is the horizon which the limits vision when the for individual hampered both and in stimulation limit vision while listening the problems and against basic necessity in food, clothing and shelter. It is the world and through which the ordinary working daily flows haven't been affecting and removing the ask, wishing and valleys and the outer limitation of physical visual vision when the horizons are planned. While this exalted the plan and through the creative faculty of the mind given freedom for action. The way has been cleansed the four sixty senses and no font becomes recipient's ideas which cloud not rest individual wonder and other circumstance. It is the sin sense and the factually which that makes the difference between genius and the ordinary individual. The creative faculty the creative faculty becomes the more alert to receive of vibration ordinary outside the individual subconscious mind, the more is facultative used, and the more individual relies upon it, the and and it makes demand upon it through impulse. This facultative can be cultivated and developing only from used. That which you know was one consistency parents the entirely through the facultative of the six senses. The great artists, writers, musicals, and the poets become great because this acquired the ability of reeling you upon the still small voice, which speaks from when from the facultative creation imagination. It is the fact, well, you know, people who have quaint imaginations that their best ideas come from some called hunchers, where the greater orator who does not train the greatness into closes his eyes and begins really and try the open factually and the creative imagination when asked with the closing eyes just before the climaxes of this oratory. We replied, "It's due because, and I speaking through ideas which come from wishing." One of American the most successful, one of the best in all finances followed ability to closing the eyes and for 2-3 minutes before making decision. When asked, we had didn't with the replied. With my eyes closed and I able to draw upon source the superior intelligence. The late Dr. Elmer Gates often shares creative the more 200 useful patents man and then basing through process cultivation and using creative factors. Here's the method in both significantly interesting and interest and the act at time to status genius and the wishing category. Dr. Gates, when the unquestionable beyond the Dr. Gates was the really great and for all the last publicized design archives of the world. Its laboratory had that qualities the personal communication run and the practical sound and profile arranged the outlight could be and the show there was equipment small table and the lecture the published on when called and the draw open force and the flow creative imagination we hold and so around the seat and himself the table. It should the light and the concentration open on effective the invention invention and your working remain in that position the ideas begin to flash this mind connection, and the factors the invention. One occasion ideas come the flow and for the fast ways forces right and the for almost 3 hours and the flow and stopping the flowing and examining the knots and the flow containing minutes describing the principles which had not appeared among data of the scientific world. Moreover, the answer with the problem intelligently persistent in those notes, and the winner, Dr. Gates, completed the over 200 patents, and the began but not completed half breaking brains. Evidence often throws off statement the United States Patent Office. Dr. D. Gates inadvertently the living bee is stealing for ideas. For individuals and corporations, the sum the largest corporation in American paid in a huge substantial fees, but yours for stating for ideas. The reason the facultative often fall because these largest gilding accumulating experience, not all knowledge, and wishing accumulating through experience. It is accurate ideas received the through the creative facultative are the more reliable, and the season that comes service more reliable than anything any wish the valuable the reasons facultative the mind. The major difference between genius and the ordinary crank inventor, they both fold actively genius in the flow, facultative in the creation, imagination. While we crank knows nothing of the facultative. The scientific inventor, Mr. Edison and Dr. Gates making the effort both in the scientific and the creating facultative of imagination. For example, the scientific inventor genius begins the invention and the be organized the company, the idea, the principal accumulation from experience, from synthetic facultative. He, if we find accumulating knowledge to be insufficient in the comprehension the inventor and draws open source of knowledge available to handle fraud creative facultative. The method B which the truth varies with the individual, but this the sun and substantial this process. Number one, stimulate his mind so as that vibration one higher than average the plan. Using the more thin mind stimulation, the summon stimulant is chose. We concentrate upon factors the find part in the invention, the creativity is one deficient part in the invention. He holds the subconscious mind this relative quelling and this mind out fraud and the waiting answer flash into this mind. Sometimes the result involves difference in the intermediate. At another times, the result negative depends upon the state in developing the sixth sense and the creative faculty. Mr. Edison tried the more 10,000 different combination ideas and synthetic and facultative imagination before and through the creative facultative answer and the perfection in creating the light and in the experience is similar in producing the talking machine. This is empirically reliable evidence. The facultative creation imagination stands exists the evidence and a variable fraud, a creative analysis, and who become leaders, response, and call light and the calls you without having intense educations. Lincoln was notable example, the great leader who achievement the grades for discover and use the facultative imagination. He discovered that the began result the stimulation of Lovin's experience after any routine statement heightens significance in the connection student assurance of genius.